somehow something needed to be shared. And I'm not even 100% sure yet what it is. There is that urge again that something needs to be shared or wants to be shared. And something's resisting that, right? Because it was a very deep, kind of raw time for me. And I'm in a good place, right? I'm not in a crisis, but it's very emotional. Some very intense emotions in that sense that have been bubbling up, but there's something very different to the quality of those emotions that are being experienced in this body. I didn't realize emotions could be like that, because to me emotions they're almost scary, right? If you have complex PTSD like myself and you've been through that PTSD crisis, emotions are just so I'm lacking the word now. So debilitating, perhaps, or so horrific that they really stop you from being able to function and even look after yourself, right? All that goes out the window. So it almost feels like or it used to feel like that I wouldn't be able to cope with the emotions. That it's almost like they could kill me. And I was in I had therapy, I had a lot of professional help, and in that phase, if you're in that right now, like, I would really strongly encourage you to reach out for some professional help, because I don't know if I would have been able to get through that period like this. So but what surprises me, because I always thought, and I've done videos on that, right, that emotional roller coaster, how this is very typical for that time, and then things will even out and level out. And now it's like, no, that's not so. this year has really challenged a lot of those beliefs and things that I thought were true. And my science mind, right, my researcher, all my decades of studying medical research and getting to a point now and realizing I thought I had it all figured out. I knew how to manage emotions and my inner world, and how I can be successful, and how I can achieve my goals, and how I can be efficient and productive, right? That being a high achiever was so important to me. and I had no idea what I was doing to myself, right? At that point. So I'm not saying what I did is wrong. I'm not discouraging you if that is what you're doing. I have achieved a lot of things. So there's not really about right or wrong. It's just realizing that in a moment, well, so that is it. I found it. I found what is helpful for me. I had a lot of joy as well in that time, right? And even though I was working a lot, but what I try to offer is that there is always another way of seeing things. And I couldn't see it then. I actually, even right now, I don't even know why, but there's a lot of sadness right in this moment. And yet I'm also very joyous almost at the same time. It's like just the way the emotions coming through so freely. Perhaps that's the word. Perhaps I'm no longer resisting the emotions. I no longer have that need to manage. That's it. To manage my emotions, because there's almost like there's appropriate emotions for certain actions. That's how we used to deal with emotions, right? I wanted to be in a certain emotional state if I was doing work on the computer, a certain emotional state if I be something creative, but I want to sew something or something. I thought I needed to be in a certain emotional state for those things. Well, this year I realized, or I explored or what if I just allowed my emotions just to be as they come out? How can it be wrong? How can my body make a wrong emotion? It's yeah, it was a very interesting experience, and at times confusing, right? And even that sense of confusion can sometimes be almost accompanied with some worry or some anxiety or some threat, right? Because confusion, when you have PTSD, that's not usually as safe, or it's not perceived as safe, and not much is perceived as safe when you have PTSD, right? But that confusion or that uncertainty, not knowing, that unpredictability, that can be really triggers, right? So this year was really allowing for all of that to just be there. Okay, I'm confused. And can I be curious about that confusion? Can I be curious about what does it do in my body? You know, to just be curious about the sensation. And this is an invitation for you to just pause and experience them. And it's kind of almost bizarre, because the sensations in the body for confusion, for worry, even a little bit of sadness, and some of those emotions, I don't want to give it away, but the sensations, they're not that different from each other. Do you realize that? I really invite you to feel into that, to just be curious about the sensation, and then you realize the only thing that differs between them is the mental chatter. Yeah, mental chatter about the moment, what I make it all mean about me, the future, the past, all this, right? That chitter-chattering that goes on still occasionally, more than other times, but that emotional exploration has been very deep, has been very raw, and somewhat pure. There's a purity, and I really wanted to share that with you guys, because I don't know where you're on your healing journey, and sometimes, you know, that I was fantasizing at the beginning that one day I don't have emotional storms anymore, and it's all going to go away, and I just want to offer that no, nothing might go away. Or if it just changes, the quality of it changes, the way you experience it changes. I actually enjoy experiencing emotions, even anxiety, which is bizarre because I did not like anxiety. That was my most avoided one, right? That's why I kept myself so busy all the time too, so I didn't have to experience certain emotions quite so much. I was too busy. I didn't have time for that. So this year I really realized, oh, okay, there's still some coping mechanisms, I guess, right? And to be humble enough and honest enough with yourself, right, to recognize, oh, that's okay. It doesn't mean I have failed. It doesn't mean I'm not as far as I should be. To realize, no, well, it is a journey. It's a journeyless journey, right? There's not really a path. As much as I wish that there was like a step-by-step path to some illusionary destination. It isn't. There's so much beauty in being able to be just in the moment and experiencing whatever bubbles up, whatever emotion is there, and just allow that to be, right? To just with no expectation. It just is. That's it. It just is. It just is.